Okay, welcome to the first ever Redefined Coaches team call. That made me a little emotional. Guys, this is awesome. Okay. This week we are going to talk about making the most of your power hour. What I'm hoping for our team calls is that they're more discussion based and questions and answer based than actually me just talking at you. I really love learning that way, but I think I'm really terrible teaching that way. So if you ever want a PowerPoint or me to write things down, I'm totally more than willing to do that. But I'd probably just put a bunch of notes on our team page the day after. Just because I like looking at you guys and interacting. I think the reason I don't like it is because I actually feel like I have to prepare a sermon. So that's like ministry life. So I just get really Bible verses, and I'm going to stand on stage. So I think this will help me at least ease into it, and then maybe at some point we'll change. But I know that some people are going to try and hop on. If not, we will just revel in the fact that there's 4 of us for our first ever call. But I know you guys know some of this stuff, so I'll go quickly through it. A lot of this stuff is from other team calls and other things that I've read. I in no way think that I have all of this knowledge obtained and wisdom in a book of things that I only know. So if you've heard Lisa say it or Bonnie Engel say it or Danny Whidden say it, they did for sure. But I really quickly just wanted to go over what a power hour is. The best way that I've kind of learned it to be through coaching is just your uninterrupted time in a day when you focus on your business and you focus on reaching your goals to grow more. That's kind of just when I first started, everyone was talking about a power hour and they were doing this list of 10 things. And I was like, I don't really know what 10 things I need. So I think my first 10 of a power hour were not anything that could happen in an hour. I think 5 of them were I didn't know what to say. So I was hang out with my son. I didn't know what to say. I felt like I had to have 10 things. And so that was just a mess. But I started realizing that, in your power hour is everything that's connected to your goals, to your priorities, to your family, talking to them about it, doing it together, and making sure that everything's connected and you don't have something in your power hour going ice skating when that has nothing to do with your goals as a family, just something crazy like that, just making sure that everything lines up, your priorities are lined up, and you just kind of you make it happen for you and the time that you have allotted for it during the day. So that was my really quick thing, because another thing about our team calls, guys, is I want them to be short and sweet. 9 p.m. I turn into a pumpkin. I was honestly thinking about making them. I know I do. And Catherine's I'm going to be up for another 3 hours.
Oh, hey, I'm awake now.
But I know Rachel and Anna hate
we go to bed early.
This is
we
great.
In college going to bed early. We got made fun of, but that's okay.
We got made fun of.
Well, I did.
That's awesome. I would actually go to bed early and wake up at 4.
Oh my gosh.
To write papers. Yeah, I was so weird. All of my friends were like, why do you wake up at 3 a.m? I'm like, because I had a paper due today.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I love the idea of just talking through things and kind of doing it together relationally, and then 9:30, peace out. We're done. Do what you got to do. Finish up any of your power hour you have left, or anything like that. I told my husband actually to come in here at 9:30 if I wasn't done, because a lot of times I will ignore my phone. So, but if one of you are talking, we'll give you a few minutes just because then I don't need to hear myself. Okay, but so without oh well, yeah, let me do this first. I was gonna like, oh yeah, everybody share it, but really quick, I just wanted to share with you guys my power hour, and just kind of let you know some stuff that I do, and then I'm gonna have Catherine and Anna share theirs. But let's see. I'm going to share from where I start each day, because I usually start with the hardest thing first for me. So, well, not really, because my devotional isn't hard, but I like giving Jesus the first of my day. So I start with my devotional, and then I go right into friend requests, reconnecting, inviting, and then I go into follow-ups. What do I do next? Personal development. And then I have a group of like certain people every few weeks that I follow more closely on social media that I want to be coaches or people in challenge groups. So I go through and like any of their stuff, comment any of their stuff that I missed the day before, or just anything like that. So I focus on their stuff, and then I go into our groups, and then I text coaches and challengers. And then I go to my coach online office, because then it's like, I'm done. I'm just going to go online. Like I like ending with like, sweet, and then there's some days that I have other stuff. I don't actually plan my posts, like take time to write them out in my power hour. I know that's like one of our vitals, so I did want to address that. Like for me, I just kind of in my planner at the beginning of every month, I just kind of write down 3 things I'm going to post about every day, and then throughout the day, I'll write and craft my posts. So I don't make that part of my power hour, because I think if I did, it would be a power 2 hours, because sometimes I write really long posts. So I just kind of like doing it when I'm in the moment. It just makes it a lot easier for me, instead of being like, I'm going to write this now. And so that's how I do mine. So Anna or Catherine, whoever would like to go first, would like you to share. Oh, sorry, hold on. And I wake up between 4 and 5 in the morning. So that's when I start, and I just do it all in one sitting, because once Paxton wakes up, I'm a mess. So that's when I do mine as well. So guys, share when you do yours and what you have in them for me.
I can go. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So with my, I'm a full-time teacher, so I'm not a morning person at all. So I don't really wake up in the morning and do anything in the morning. I just get there. I wake up like 15 minutes before I need to leave. So that's me. So as soon as I get home from work, I try to do, I call it my power 30 or 40, because sometimes I don't always have an hour. So I used to, before I started coaching, I used to come home and veg out on the couch and watch TV for like 30 minutes. So now instead of doing that, I've made this a priority, because I've just, for me, it's all about like getting it done. Like, I'll be exhausted from work and I want to come home and do nothing, but it's all about like how badly you want it. And this is something that I really, really want. So I make sure to get it in. And for me, that might be 30 minutes or 40 minutes instead of an hour. And this is what it kind of looks like for me is, first I decide what I want to do. And every day I make sure on the top list of my priorities, I'm not going to go to bed that night without inviting 3, connecting with 3, friend requesting 3, checking my messages and posting at least 3 times. I think there's only been like a few times in the last month or 2 that I've only posted, or that I've posted less than 3 times. So, and like Sarah said, I don't like post 3 times in one sitting. And I plan them out in one sitting. I just kind of, as I go along throughout the day, like I get ideas, or while I'm at school, during my don't tell anybody I said that. I'll get like ideas where I'll be like, oh, I want to post about this later, but I'm at work, so I really shouldn't be posting while I'm at work. So I'll post like as soon as I'm done. As far as professional development, I know that's really, really important. I try to get it in like every other day because for me, it's not always something I have time for every day. I'm really trying to make that more of our priority though. I'm trying to get it into the podcast thing, you know, while I'm cooking dinner or folding laundry. The only problem is I'm extremely ADD diagnosed for sure. So legitimate. So it's hard for me to try to like do multiple things at once and multitask. But I'm trying to get into that. But basically, another thing that really helps me out, since I don't always have that time for the full hour, is on weekends, I sit down and I plan out who I'm going to invite and who I'm going to friend request rather than planning out my post. I plan that out, and the way I do that is I click on just a random friend on my friends list, and I click on their friends, and then I just start scrolling. And I start, oh, I recognize them, I'm not their friend. So I'll make like these ginormous lists, and then going throughout the week, so I'm not like wasting time sitting there like searching for, oh gosh, I'm trying to search for someone else to like friend request. I will just say, okay, I'll look at my list and just be like, check, friend request. So then I'm done. So that makes it a lot faster for me. So but if I ever lose this book, I'm going to like cry, because I have so much of that in there. But so all I need to do is just whip out my book and just check it off. And I do the same thing for the people that I invite. I'll go through my friends list and I'll just scroll, and like Sarah said, I'll try to start following them more and liking their stuff more. So, you know, I'm starting to try to get interested in, you know, what they're about at this point in their life. Do they look like someone that would be interested? Are they online enough to even be able to respond to my messages? Although I have found that somebody I thought would never respond to me respond back like extremely quickly. But not to get sidetracked. So, you know, I'll do the same thing with my friends list, where I will write down a whole list of people, and first I'll contact them, and then I can just show you it. First I'll contact them, and then once I've contacted them, like, I don't know if you can see this or not, but when I've contacted them, I'll circle it, and then so I know that, oh, this is someone that I want to invite, and I know who I've contacted. So I'll circle like the checkbox next to their name. And then when I've invited them, then I'll check it off. But it just shows me, like, I never want to invite someone before I've actually talked to them and like taken an interest up in their life. So anyways, that's kind of what my power hour looks like, or my power 30 to 40 minutes is just inviting, friend requesting, contacting, checking messages. And then if I have extra time, then I'll do other things and I'll try to really dig in. But that's like the bare minimum. Oh, and then my devotional. Jesus Calling. It's the best. So yeah, that's kind of what I do.
Cool. Thank you. Anna? Can you hear me?
Okay, so I'm going to share what I've been doing lately, but I'm kind of in a weird transition period where I'm not working at the time being. So how I used to do my power hour is a lot different from how I'm kind of doing it now, because I'm home all day as opposed to working a full-time job. But anyways, regardless, I actually break up my power hour into actually 2 half-an-hour time periods. And they might not necessarily be half an hours, but they usually generally are. And I just like doing that because I can get really overwhelmed when I have a big list of things to do. And if I can kind of break up some in the morning and then some like afternoon, like after I get home or later on in the day, it doesn't seem as daunting to me.
Yeah.
So usually in the morning, that's when I'll friend request a minimum of 3 people, and I just do it easy. I just go straight on Facebook, and whatever Facebook is recommending who I friend request, and I look to see how many mutual friends we have and if I actually know them because of a few friends, and just recognize them, I'll friend request them. And then I'll send out messages to start connecting with people. I like doing that in the morning because not everyone responds right away. So if I send it out in the morning, there's a greater chance to talk to them that day. And then after getting used to inviting, like I will say that that's kind of one of my weaknesses. I kind of get scared. So I'm definitely learning how to like push out of my comfort zone. So I'm really trying to reconnect with more people so that I actually have people that I feel comfortable asking, because I know that I've had a conversation with them and I'm not just blank asking them to just do something. And then I'll also follow up in the morning with people who haven't gotten back to me in a few days, or to see if they have any questions since looking at some of the information. And then my second part of the day is when I'll check in with the challenge groups that I'm involved with. I'm running one this month myself, so I'll kind of check in with that group. And then also the last thing that I usually do, kind of like Sarah, is I'll check my online office. I'll do that towards the end of the day. And then social media, I kind of do it all throughout the day. I try to have one in the morning at least, and then the majority of the other ones are towards the end of the day. And I don't sit down and plan them out either, but sometimes what I'll do is if I get an idea like the day before, I'll write it down for the next day, or that morning I might write down like 3 topics that I want to share throughout the day, but I'm not sitting there like crafting or taking the photos or whatever. Like it kind of happens throughout the day. And then I never count my personal development as part of my power hour. I usually do it outside of it because I actually love to read. So I usually just do it outside so I can get more time to do that. Or if I know I'm really busy that day, I'll listen to a podcast while I'm getting ready so that I don't miss out on my personal development that day. But yeah, that's basically what I do, is I kind of break it up so that it's not so overwhelming. Yeah.
That's awesome. Sweet. Really, my only other thing is like I have some like tips, and sorry, I have like notifications going off. I don't even know where they're coming from. It's so annoying. I hate notifications. I'm about to talk about that. But they're basically just like some tips and strategies to help you stay on track. I know for me, like I'm not diagnosed ADD, but let me tell you, I feel ADD all of the time. And when I first started coaching, like I really struggled feeling like I had to be at my phone all the time, and I was never like that. And so like Corey was like, you're always on your phone. Like, can you like put it away? And so we came to some conclusions about like making sure that we had boundaries with work. And I think what's really cool about a power hour is that a power hour fits into your schedule, but it needs to be scheduled so that you don't spend the whole day doing nothing, scrolling on Facebook, and then not having enough family time because you didn't schedule your power hour. So scheduling it and having time for it is super, super important, but it also is like lining up with your priorities as well. So I know for me, like there are some days where my power hour might look different. So even on that day, like I'm kind of like, okay, how can I schedule this differently so that I can make the most of my power hour and my day. But I know like that's sometimes really hard. So what I do is I turn off my notifications. I still haven't figured out how to turn off Facebook message notifications because I keep getting them. But if anyone can tell me if they figure out how to do that, that would be great. Because I still haven't figured it out. I just need to go on Google. But I turned off all of my Facebook notifications. So I'm not constantly getting notifications while I'm trying to do things. Because I know for me, if I'm in the middle of friend requesting, reconnecting, following up, checking messages, in the middle of that, if I get a notification, like what do? Like we click on the notification because that thing pops up. It's like that roll down thing, like this person liked your photo. I'm like, yeah, like this person liked my photo. And then I'm like, who else liked my photo? And like, oh, who commented? Oh, like, let me comment back. And then all of a sudden I'm like talking to friends, like I'm texting somebody about hanging out. So I know for me, like that's something that's been really helpful, and it's not only helpful for my job, but it's also helpful for family time. Like when we're out and about, like I don't get those. So it's not even a temptation to look at that. Like, because then I have to literally go on my phone, scroll over to my Facebook app and check if I have notifications. So that's something that really helps me make the most of my time. I was talking to Oma yesterday, and I was telling her, I was like, have you ever heard of Dave Ramsey when he talks about tell your money where to go? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, it's like that with our power hour. Like we have to tell our time where to go and what to do. Because if we don't, like we will lose the whole day. So like making the most of our time is super important. And I know that I've talked to some of you about this before, but I always make sure that I'm timing myself. So, you know, like, because if I don't time myself, I'll just like spend 10 minutes friend requesting people. So what I end up doing is like I'm going to show it to you actually. So you can see kind of what I do. I don't know if you can really see it because I make such a mess, but I have little numbers next to my boxes. And I actually, like, that's how much time I have for each thing. So I will spend, like today I spent 1 minute friend requesting, 5 minutes reconnecting, 10 minutes inviting, 3 minutes checking my online office. So I'll just put it on my phone. And then once the timer goes off, if I'm not finished, I move on to the next thing and I come back to it later that day. Just so that I can get through everything that I need to get through. And then if I have one more person to invite at the end of the day, it's not as daunting as having all of my invites or half of my list because I spent from 6:30 to 7 just inviting. So that really helps me stay on track. So if you guys wanted to do something like that, like that's super helpful. You in no way have to do that, but that's just something to help. And staying consistent, super important. You guys just trying to be as consistent as possible. And that looks different for everybody. So like Catherine being consistent is a lot different than me being consistent. Like Rachel being consistent looks different than Anna being consistent because Rachel just had to plan a whole fundraiser for a youth church and all that craziness. And so that's something that's just going to look different for everybody. Like everybody has things. And so like being consistent is not the same. Our power hours won't all look the same. And I think that's the beauty of what we get to do. But it's also a curse. I remember this in Lisa's team call and she goes, it's a blessing and a curse having your own hours because you can't hang out with people whenever you want if you say that you're going to work Tuesday nights. And I was like so tempted tonight to be like, maybe I can just tell everybody I'm sick because I don't want to do it. Like, I'm going to be honest. Like I was tired from Disney, like all of this stuff. And I was like, no, but like, hi, Alma. Sorry, we're like all unmuted because we're just going with the flow. But you know, like I didn't want to do it. And I was like, no, but like I said I was going to work Tuesday nights now. And so like I have to work Tuesday nights. Like it's a non-negotiable because if I'm not doing that, then like I'm not caring enough about what I said I was going to do. So that's something that was like really hard. I was like, dang it. But it really helps to be like, I'm going to take out this time to learn and to do like big things and better things. So that's like another thing. I don't ever scroll through Facebook anymore. And I don't know what it is, but it's like immediately you get on Facebook and like your hand just starts moving. Like you just start scrolling. It's like an attack of the enemy. So like I always try so hard. Like I'm like, no, no, no. Like I have to like tell myself not to. But yeah, like that's the one thing I'm like, man, I just can't, like, I can't scroll on Facebook, but it's really tough to do that. But saying no to that and then having time later, like when you're watching Netflix, that's when I kind of scroll through. Cause like when I scroll through, I don't even look at things. I'm literally passing everything I see when I scroll. Like I'm like barely liking anything. I'm like, what is the purpose of this? I'm not even liking people's posts. So it's just ridiculous. But that's just a whole side note in itself. The other thing is, and I've seen Lisa post this before, but she posted about eating that frog one day, and it's all about if you eat a frog in the morning, then that will be the hardest thing you do all day. So pick the things. This is another thing I do. I don't think I did it on this tracker. My trackers are so weird. One day I'm going to show them to you guys because you're going to be like, who, like, they're just a mess. But some days I'll just show you what I do. So like I'll like star certain things. So when I star them, it's like that's what needs to get done first. Or I'll just like number them. So for me, it's inviting, reconnecting, and inviting. Like that is my frog. And I'm telling you, like the day is so much better when I get that stuff done first. And so like if, you know, like even waking up 20 minutes earlier in the day and just saying like, cool, I already did that. I feel like I can breathe. Like I feel like I'm going to enjoy my workout more because I don't have to worry about inviting somebody. Like, and the first day I did it, I was amazed. I was like, ah, I'm so free, you know, like, and it's really cool to see how that works, but it's just cool to be able to have tools that help and are really effective for your power hour. Cause I feel like when you don't have tools for it, it just looks like a daunting list of 10 things that you have to get done. And then it's more of a chore than it is you reaching your dreams and making big things happen for you and your family. So I always try and do things that are going to be really helpful for me and not something that's going to stress me out. And this is another thing that I want to like encourage in you guys, like all of your lives are different and everybody's day looks different. And there are some days where I will be honest with you, like I hit snooze and I don't set another alarm and I wake up at 7 with my kid and that day is literally insane. I do not do my power hour on Sundays. I take Sunday and I do not do anything. And I have X's where I don't do it. And that's just something that like Corey and I decided that I was like, man, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm not going to work on Sundays, just to give myself some time. And so if there's a day that you're like, I'm just not going to do that. Like, obviously I still drink my Shaco. I still do my workout. Like I still do that. Like I'll do my devotional, but I don't do everything else. There are some days where it just kind of happens, like people message me or, you know, like I'll end up friend requesting if I have time, but I don't. So don't feel like you're stuck to this power hour that everybody has. Like make it work for the priorities in your life. And I encourage you to write them out. Like mine is God, family, Beachbody, ministry. And right now it's really hard because like Beachbody's my job. And so it's like what's connecting us to be able to make money in Boston. But I'm also really excited about church planning. So like I want to put them like together, but for the sake of helping me get to Boston, I need to put Beachbody ahead of Boston so that we can live and eat. So that's again, like my power hour might change when we live there, just to help us with our priorities more and lining up with it. But right now, like the way it is lining up with our priorities the way we need to be. So that's really it. And it's only 9:33. I got this, guys. And I only have 6 minutes until our call is stopped because I'm only using the free version of Zoom right now. So if you guys, do you guys have anything that you want to add or like any questions? For me, or anything that you just want to add for advice or tips for your power hours that have worked. Anybody, please, like if you have anything, because I know that this will help everyone who's not on here. So feel free to share anything that you have.
Something else that I forgot to say was that I make a list of not just the people that I'm going to invite, but also the people that I already have. And it looks like this. And it says, who did I contact or invite? And then it's like, did I invite them? And I'll check there. And then it's like follow up and then second follow up. And then it ends up being a lot of follow ups. But it just helps me keep track of the day that I actually first contacted someone. And then, you know, it also helps me look back and be like, oh, it's been like a week or 2 weeks since I last talked to them. And, you know, it's like an appropriate amount of time where I can like go back and contact them again. It just helps me keep track of like chronologically, like when I've talked to people.
Yeah.
Yes. Same thing, kind of what Catherine was saying. She reminded me too. On Excel, I called it an inviting tracker. And what I do is I'll put the person's name, the date that I first asked them what program they were interested in, and if they said yes or no, and if they said yes, but not this month, next month, I'll write what month they were interested in. Mm-hmm. And if they say no and it's a reason of finances or whatever, I'll write down whatever the reason was, so that if I'm short for people at the end of the month, or just kind of at a loss of who to follow up with, or I need to invite more people, I can always go back to that and be like, oh, you said you wanted to do it in May. Do you still want to do it this month, or what's going on? And it really helps keep track of that. And I'm sorry, my phone keeps.
That was me. Sorry.
Okay. Oh yeah, I definitely can.
I was asking Anna to post her tracker on the group,
yep,
but I didn't want to interrupt her, but then I ended up interrupting her.
That's okay. Yeah, and usually in the mornings, I don't even check my phone when I first wake up, and I leave it in the separate room from where I do my devotion, so I'm not distracted, because I will look at my phone.
Yeah.
That's smart.
So yeah, that's what Catherine reminded me of that.
No,
yeah.
That's good. That's good.
No.
Does anybody have anything else? Any questions? Totally okay if you don't. I'm like not. This is our first one. Oma came on, so we have 5 guys.
I wanted to apologize.
No, don't apologize. I know you have Bible study tonight.
Yeah, but I thought it was at 9:30. Like, I don't know. I'm a space cadet sometimes. But yeah, I came on like super late. But
no, I
love
it. I loved it. I was so excited when I got to see your face, even if it was only for a few minutes. I will figure it out, because I feel like maybe this time isn't enough. Well, I did get on really early, so maybe we'll figure it out, but because I'm like, oh gosh, time remaining. No, but
we're like 2:14, 2:13.
Yeah. But yeah, if you guys don't have anything else, then we'll go. Oh yeah, here's my husband.
I was gonna say, where was Corey?
Hey, Corey.
He gave you some grace.
I give you a 5-minute grace period.
All right. Well, I love you guys. And I will see you in, not next week, but the week after. So I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Sweet. Bye, guys.
Bye.